It's somewhere. It's somewhere on the lost one. I'll let you head this one.
Okay, guys. So just a little bit. We're coming back to you guys, talking a little bit more about the carb situation. So we did a little bit of research, and we found that without carb regulations, there is in fact going to be a little bit more pollution. So the EPA is like we talked about our last broadcast about this. The EPA is not going to be very happy with the pollutants that are coming out of the air. You know, it's going to lead to bad air quality.
But I want to say it's minimal. It's like, okay, so we're buying, let's say, a Honda straight from the dealership, and it's already going to have its federal carb emission stuff on there. It's going to have its CAT and everything. How many people are really out there and say, hey, let me put an exhaust on there. Let me rip out this and that and embrace it and stuff like that. It's a variable, very minimal, and it's more like, you know, youngsters, kids, and then the kids itself can't afford them right now.
You're listening to
In the Loop, North County, where we talk about nothing and everything, both at the same time. I am your host, Victor Banuelos. Joining me is Ricky, Tommy, and Chris. This episode is sponsored by Centric Auto Repair. Is your check engine light on? Need brakes? Trust the experts at Centric Auto Repair. To ensure your vehicle is running smoothly and safely, call today.
I mean, that stuff's expensive. So as far as like all of a sudden the pollution is going to be like crazy sky high, I just don't see it. I don't see it. Things are so expensive right now that people are just like, nah, I'll leave the exhaust on there. I'll leave my headers on there. So I know it's not gonna be as good, but I don't see it as being such a huge deal for California, especially that we already have cats on there.
Right. Yeah. The only difference between all that is going to be, like I said, I think the manufacturing of the vehicles are going to be a little bit different. The what's it called? How can I say it? They're not going to build them like they did when we had to be carb compliant. They're going to be.
Well, California is the strictest.
Strictest, 100%.
You know, so as long as we can be the same as everybody else in the United States, the prices of the cars should drop. You know,
we're not going to run around with no exhaust. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Still going to run and do it. Another thing that Carb was doing. Carb's one of they were the major drivers in pushing to adopting electric vehicles. The ZEV cars, the zero emission vehicles. So its absence is, it's going to slow down that transition a lot. Like if the restraints from carb, from the emissions part of it, I mean, people are going to be able to drive their cars. I got a call earlier about a customer that has a 84 Volvo. He's like, man, it's been sitting in my garage. I got to fix it, but it won't pass smog. He goes, what do I do? You know, what do? You gotta follow the rules. As of right now, you got to follow the rules of the carb or whatever California is having you do. He goes, but what if I wait till this passes? Do I still have to do it? I was like, well, you have a 1984. I'm almost positive that the emission system has ran its life. So if it's not part of what we have to do, then I mean, the emissions delete comes right into play. But I'm not going to tell him not to register his car. You know, I don't know what else he has to do, but you know, we're just hoping all of this flies through and we get.
So if it gets passed, it's not going to be till the end of the year that it's
right. That's what I told him.
What is it? November. So until November, that's what the fiscal year ends. So that's when the new regulations or law. See, California, it's just a regulation. It's not a law. You know what I mean? So they're just regulating how things work. Once I think the federal is pushing law on their end. When it's law, then California has to obey the federal law, and they can't revert from that.
And then hopefully they get the CRA signed and all that. So 4 years down the road,
yeah, they're getting hit by both sides.
Yeah.
So there are two different things: the CRA and then this bill that they're passing. Which, do you remember the name of it?
I don't know what the CRA is, but I know that the CRA is what keeps it from being repealed later on. So if they sign a CRA, whatever stays law now is going to stay law. Like a new president can't come in 4 years and be like, oh, I want to go revert back to old California ways, and can't do it. Not if it passes.
Once smog's gone. Smog stations.
Deuce.
So back on the EV batteries and all that stuff, California itself is reversing all that stuff. So even if this stuff's passed, they're realizing, wait a minute, this is not going to work. We don't have the infrastructure in California to be charging these big old trucks. The weight capacity, these batteries weigh on these semi trucks. For the batteries, they weigh over $8,000. I mean, 8,000 pounds.
Probably $8,000.
They weigh over 8,000 pounds. So what that means is if you're driving a truck and you have a capacity, I don't remember what the number is, but let's say 10,000 pounds on a road. Well, now you got 10,000 pounds plus the 8,000 That's
18,000
18,000. So what they got to do is reduce the product on that truck.
Yeah.
So now they have less product on the truck, which the value of that drive drops.
Reduces.
It reduces. So now they got to buy more trucks to be able to deliver the products to, different. In California, really relies on trucks. It's not like they're getting stuff. I mean, stuff getting shipped in, but how is stuff coming from the ship and the train?
Yeah.
They need these trucks.
Got to get somewhere from the shipyard somehow.
So less stringent emission standards for this industry. So I've had a couple questions. Hey, if you got a 1975 car and older, don't worry about smog. You just go register it. You're done. You put straight pipes. You put dual carbs. All that stuff. You don't have to. If you do a motor swap, you don't. They're not regulating that. They're not checking that. You can do whatever you want. Anything 76 and newer, then you're screwed. And a shout out to the people that are trying to sell Datsun 510s, and it's a 1977 that needs to be smog checked, and they want 15 grand for it. No, dude, that's why I bought my 70 Datsun 510. You know what I mean? So I didn't have to deal with smog.
That's a nice car.
That was fun.
CARB, just so everyone knows that every time we say CARB stands for California Air Resource Board. Okay, and they're what they do is they establish the state air quality regulations which protect public health by addressing all major sources of smog, forming, air pollution, and other forms of air pollution. So like you said, it's not a law, it's a regulation. So CARB's trying to keep California clean as far as with the strict CARB regulation. But I mean, like Victor said, we're gonna just go from a stamped catalytic converter to a different stamp on a federal cat. So we're still, it's not like I said, we're not gonna straight pipe a car, we're not gonna cut it all off and just run off. So I mean, it's not gonna get crazy.
So CARB is agency that regulates, so it's not a law. And they report to the governor's office, so they don't report to the president. They don't report to. They report to the California governor's office. So it's the governor's office, then CARB, and they don't. It's not a law. It's just they're regulating. Hey, these cars that come in, we want them to be this compliant. And after 5 years of selling, then we want it to go to a smog station, and this is how it's got to pass. So they're just a company that regulates. And you know what? When all this stuff happens and it gets passed, that department's going to be gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? That money's going to be free. Hopefully they use it for something better. So, I mean, this is one of the reasons why a lot of people are moving out of California. It's getting super expensive. But more importantly, the regulations, the laws, the taxes, all that stuff just really pushes. And I got a statistic here. According to the U-Haul data, California consistently ranks as a state with the highest net loss of one-way movers, meaning more people leave California than move in, with the majority of U-Haul trucks departing from the state compared to any other in the U.S. And this has been happening for many years now, so, if we could just change California just a little bit, I think that will help people stay instead of run, I'm assuming we have a higher income than a lot of other states, but if they just tweaked it a little bit that we're not spending as much on eggs,
yeah.
You know what I mean? That will get convinced, and maybe that will slow down the people from leaving California. It's just it's super expensive, and the prime example is this CARB thing. How come 49 other states have a federal CARB that they use? They don't have smog stations. They don't have all these huge taxes, and they're living. If you go to Texas right now and you just drive around, people are driving smiling like, hi, good morning, good afternoon. They're very stress-free. You don't see the running around. It's because they can afford to live where they live.
Right.
While we're stressed on money, income, what am I going to do? And that's why we get all these, people driving like crazy, and I got to get to work, and oh my gosh, my bill didn't get paid on this and that. There's a different lifestyle that they're living over there, and it's the stresses of California, of all these taxes that we have to pay, so it's pretty crazy, so hopefully on this small subject. Now this is a bundle package, so this is the federal budget, so this is just a small portion of a huge bundle budget that they're doing right there. So the budget is being tackled in all kinds of areas. This is a piece that Trump is trying to get through so he can, drill, like he says. He doesn't have to worry about the EPA or pollution things that's happening when they, bring these industries back. So him tackling that is tackling also this other area which California has on EPA and Carb and Smog and the BAR, Bureau of Automotive Repair. All that stuff is getting tackled into this bundle thing. So it's a trickle effect. And we're just a small portion into this bundle, so like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you guys think. We like the comments that are coming in. It tells us a lot and it helps us research, when you do have a question about this. So thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Send a topic. Send us a topic you guys want to hear us talk about.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested, we'll bring it to you guys.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
See you.